Wake up, everybody. Like always, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to Morning Brew and follow us on Facebook. Today's episode is almost like a part 2 of distance learning as Spencer and I vent a little about our frustrations continuing distance learning. We go a lot more into the NFL and what football means to us while also being shamed for watching sports right now.
Buzzsprout, the easiest way to begin your podcast. Sign up with Buzzsprout through the link in our show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card after your second month. Using the equipment that you already have in a quiet space, upload to Buzzsprout and your episodes are available everywhere podcasts are found. Apple, Google, Pandora, Spotify, and more. Instacart. Hundreds of grocers now at the ready to hand select items of your choosing. It's super easy. Use the app or head over to instacart.com to check them out. Ready to order? Follow the link in our show notes and let them know we sent you. Essential items, office supplies, groceries, and even contactless delivery. Instacart has you covered. And today is sponsored by Rosie Cooks Gourmet Catering, located in the greater wine country of Northern California. Rosie Cooks was built off the passion for the culinary arts and is shared throughout the staff. From weddings to corporate events, gourmet packaged boxed lunches, wine pairings, and private events. The team at RC collectively challenge one another and deliver mouth-watering menus every time. Check them out at www.roseycooks.com on Facebook and Instagram. ROSEYCOOKS. And finally, Newness Productions for all your film and photography needs, from social media, promos, and commercials. Wedding films and photography, newnessproductions.com. NEWNESS productions.com. Now, let's just get on with it.
Tell them about the Twinkie.
What about the Twinkie?
Who you calling butthead? Butthead.
Y'all talking about? Y'all talking about me?
You take drugs, Danny? Every day.
This is ridiculous. It's crazy. I feel like I'm babysitting, except I'm not getting
I've
paid.
heard police work is dangerous.
It is. That's why I carry a big gun.
Aren't you afraid it might go off accidentally?
I used to have that
What
problem.
did you do about it?
I just think about baseball.
Declare.
Whose children is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
I gotta go to college. Danny, this isn't Russia.
Disaster of biblical
What he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
Dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Massive
You can literally hit record and everything's fine, dude.
This is insane. We're ready.
We did it.
No technical glitches.
Oh my gosh. It feels so nice.
Yeah. I was like, okay, did I set up everything right? Did we do everything right? I don't do many of these Zooms. I feel like I gotta ask my kids.
My daughter's now more technologically advanced. I do. There's some technological things I should know, but I don't. Like, how the hell do you operate a cloud? Do you know how? I don't. Because I'm stupid.
I'm still trying to figure out the cloud.
Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to be a Niner fan, would you?
No. I just kind of put stuff on, and this is like what I wear. And I'm not wearing 49er underwear at all.
That was way more information than I ever cared to find out about you, but
that's fine.
Speaking of, I was actually just looking at all the football stuff, all the stats and the games. How are you feeling about all this so far?
Dude, the injuries this week was like the main story. It feels like every team has experienced some sort of injury, and it's nuts. And, being the Niner fan, we just lost 4 starters in a matter of a week, like, it's frustrating because I feel like there's a political game being played. Of course, it comes down to politics, right? Where even if the conditions of MetLife Stadium were terrible, I don't think the NFL would admit that. They are so desperate for revenue and so desperate for games to be played that it could be a shitty field, and the NFL is like, it's good enough. It's a field, because they want the money.
Well, it feels. I feel like I was looking at it today, and I'm going, week 3 already.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like football season starts, and we're already this deep in. I feel like it's like a holiday. You get to a holiday and then it just zooms by. And it's like it's not enough. It's in particularly this year because of there's no preseason. We just went right into it, but which could be a contributing factor to all your
0 to 100.
Yeah, contribute to all the injuries.
True, because this is when it typically happens, right? Yeah, they need like a quarter or two under their belt to, get the juices flowing. But no, we went from 0 to 100, and it's just the injuries pile up when you spend that much time away.
Yeah. So how are you feeling? Okay, let's put your bias aside. Let's drop the Niners Bengals.
Yeah. Let's drop the preference.
Let's act like those two teams aren't even in the wheelhouse of conversation at the moment. Overall, how are you feeling like with these games? Because they've been some pretty exciting games.
Dude, that Patriots game and the Seahawks, that I feel like I called it. Like I knew Cam Newton would become something if he had Belichick under him. And he's shown that he can still run the football. And it's becoming more and more.
Not when it counted.
I know. Well, who the fuck were they going to throw to, or who were they going to,
what they should have done was that he should have pumped run like he was going to run and then pulled back and lobbed one in because they all were diving forward towards him. Right. So, I mean, I knew he was going to try to run. I didn't think that they were going to stop him, though. I was actually really surprised. I was like, oh, shit, they stuffed him at the 1.
I don't think anyone expected the Patriots to do that well, that it would come down to literally the last play against the Seahawks, because we all know that the NFC West is the toughest division in football. And going up against the Patriots, I don't think anyone expected anything from them.
Well, the Patriots-Seattle games are always great.
I feel like it should be a thing like every year. They should have to play, like almost like the Thanksgiving, where you always have the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys. It should be an every year thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I after the past 3 like head-to-heads with those two teams, yeah, it needs to be, because they get down. They both want to win real bad. I'm still not sure if I'm sold on Cam Newton and Belichick. I want to see week 6. I want to see how far they get. But Washington football team seems to be semi-surprising.
Their win, either they are better than we thought they were, or the Eagles are a lot worse.
One team I definitely have kept my eye on that's 0-2, but I mean, watch out. They might just pull right for the run-in is Atlanta. Dude,
I agree with that.
Matty Ice, 2 games in, he's almost thrown for 800 yards.
That's nuts.
And 1 interception. 6 touchdowns. I mean, he's on fire right now. He played so they played Cowboys and Seahawks, both fairly tough games, and they played in Dallas, and that was like, I mean, Dallas put up a fight. Seattle's no joke. The loss of the Cowboys was by a point, and technically that would have been a tie if they wouldn't have gone for 2.
Mm-hmm. And if they would have gotten the freaking onside kick,
So, and yeah, that was a weird.
That was just odd.
Yeah, I don't know what. Somebody got their ass chewed. But yeah, you might see Atlanta do something this year. Show up. So yeah, if Atlanta can just kind of what I mean is if they're just wiggling or working the kinks out right now, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
They put 39 points up against Dallas, and
Right.
I
I think what's funny is it kind of puts that pressure off of Kyle Shanahan, like the blame, because Kyle Shanahan was freaking just tore up because of he blew this big old lead. Well, maybe it's not Kyle Shanahan, maybe it's the head coach that can't seem to pull it off.
Maybe they're fairly stacked.
Yeah, I don't think Dallas is anything to mess with. They are pretty darn good. I think Dak showed something. Yeah, I mean, good luck to the Cowboys. I still hate them. I'm trying to put my team bias away, but I think I agree with you. Atlanta is not that bad.
No, they're not to be taken lightly.
And the fact that Carolina looks like shit, the fact that the Saints don't look good either. They lost to the Vegas Raiders.
They
That's
don't
still
look
weird
bad.
for me to say.
They don't look bad. We were gonna go back into that because I wanted to talk about the Vegas Raiders. That was one hell of a that was a good game, and badass stadium.
Yeah.
But
dude, that stadium is so sick.
Yes.
Okay. Like, I don't know if you know this, but the way they designed it, the field is all natural, grass. And what they do is on the days that they aren't playing,
they roll
the whole stadium rolls on like a pivot thing, and it goes from turf to then, oh nope, we're playing on the natural today. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. That's a beautiful stadium. So is the Inglewood Stadium.
The LA Rams.
Yeah. If we're talking about LA teams, dude, Justin freaking Herbert.
Yeah, what happened there?
If he didn't throw that interception, they would have won the game. Hands down would have won the game. Yeah, he had over 300 yards passing. He had 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown. That's the first time that's happened since 1964 for a rookie to have in their NFL debut a rushing and passing touchdown.
Yeah, they don't look bad.
The Chargers look pretty good, especially up against Mahomes.
But
that defense was
so the Rams stadium though is unreal. That's crazy how it's all open but also enclosed.
Yeah. Good luck to him.
It's cool. I just don't know how you're gonna get a fan base. LA just doesn't seem to have that fan base.
It'd be different if they had one team to rally around, but they've got 2. And it's very similar to the Rams Raiders dilemma they had in the 90s. There are going to be all these, radio and all these sponsorships that which team do we side with? Can you create 2 different fan bases within one city?
Well,
I don't think it can be done.
No, it's San Diego. San Diego missed the mark. They should have never let the Chargers go.
Agreed.
San Diego needs that team. I don't understand. They'll probably go back. I hope they go back. But I don't see him fitting in LA. And aren't they still playing just in the college stadium?
I think.
They're not sharing the Rams stadium.
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
They played it the other day. They had all like LaDainian Tomlinson all over like I just remember on the broadcast they had LaDainian Tomlinson quotes all over the stadium, and it was in the stadium.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought it was the college stadium.
Nope.
So they're just doing like an LA Clippers, LA Lakers thing.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You know that they have different levels of lighting in the Staples Arena for the Clippers games.
Like, what do you mean?
So when the Clippers play in the stadium, there's like different lighting like that they're allowed to have to make it look different. It's super. It's just part of the gig. Like they change everything in the stadium. But anyways, I think there's some hot teams right now. It's really an even playing field. I am super pumped for Monday night.
Who's playing Monday?
Kansas City versus Baltimore.
That's
light it up.
I'm excited for that one. That's going to be so high scoring.
Somebody's going away with their first loss.
Yep. Oh my gosh, my daughter is like having a fit over the fact that she's got to like do 20 questions on a spelling test right now. So give me a moment.
You got it.
Distance learning.
What do you think so far? What's your opinion on the on Bengals?
Man, I really wish Burrow would have gotten his first win against Cleveland. You know, I mean, they're all right. They don't look terrible, but dude, again, like back to before the season even started, I said like Burrow's gonna be running for his life. He's got protection issues, and lo and behold, protection issues. I wish they had a stronger running back game. But in order to have a stronger running game, you need a better offensive line. So good luck to them. I to be honest, I haven't been able to catch any of the games. I don't have NFL ticket, but it's from what I see, the highlights, Burrow's looking like he's getting into it. They've got their chances. A couple rookie mistakes, but that's what you're going to expect from a first-year quarterback.
Yeah, I expected this. That's what I said. I think he's being thrown to the wolves. Yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, you're our quarterback, right out of college, right out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like it. He looks like he's being thrown right into the wolves. You know, he's making mistakes. They're rookie mistakes. I see a lot of things and I hear a lot of things from him that I feel are positive, and I agree with, and I like to hear and see as a Bengals fan.
Mm-hmm.
If the quarterback's going to have any type of growth or development, you know. But there's a few things that he said I didn't like, but that's neither here nor there. But he's a rookie. That's like what you said. He's a rookie. It is what it is. He's making dumb mistakes, but he's trying to learn on the fly, and he has zero protection. It's not like he doesn't have any offensive weapons. My personal opinion, or my advice to you, is pull Tyler Boyd from your starting lineup. He's not going to be throwing to him very much. He throws at everybody. Yeah, man. It's not going to be this year.
I have him in my flex. Like, that's And that's the highest I think Boyd's going to go on my roster. I don't see a true I don't see any good performances coming out of the wide receiver group in Cincinnati.
I think in 3 years, Joe Burrow is going to be a great quarterback if he doesn't sustain any like real severe injuries, any RG3 injuries.
Right.
And but they're facing Philly this week, and Philly's on 0-2 loss, so they're both two teams that are hungry, but they're in Philly.
Right.
I don't know, man. I'm not expecting anything out of this year, but man, there's just so many teams on fire. Your division, Arizona, is shocking.
Gosh. Kyler Murray with those freaking 20-yard touchdown runs is driving me crazy. And if we obviously if we have to face him again. And they're going to be better because the chemistry between him and oh my gosh, Hopkins, there we go. Between Kyler Murray and Hopkins is going to be better. We're without D Ford. We're without Nick Bosa. That's a huge fucking hit to any.
Is Jimmy G out this week?
Jimmy G's officially out this week.
So you've got
Nick Mullins is the quarterback. But this is a good time for there's no good time to be injured, but if you're going to do it with these three teams in place, right? The Giants, the Eagles, and the Dolphins. The Dolphins have one win as of last night, and Giants are 0-2, and Philly's 0-2. You got some very vulnerable teams. So, you know what? Yeah, let's go at it with our backup quarterback. Let's go at it with pulling up people from the practice squad these next 3 weeks. Get all of the, get Richard Sherman back. Get Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Garoppolo, and Mostert all at the same time in week 6. Then I say we make our run. I was looking at it, dude. Has there been any other team that's been this injured and won it all? And I'm looking back. The last time that a team was this injured and won the Super Bowl was freaking the Packers in 2010. At one point, they had 15 dudes injured. The Niners right now, 17.
So you're either going to make a real late comeback.
Mm-hmm. It's wild card or nothing right now for the Niners.
Yeah.
And if the losses just start piling up, it may just be like hey, you know what? Super Bowl hangover got us. Let's just regroup and let's take some losses, get better draft picks. And I hate to say that, but that's the game. It's a business.
Sucks. And that's the part about football season where it's like so short. It's so short-lived. You feel like it just whizzes by you. Well, in our pizza pick'ems, which, by the way, how do you feel about this? Because I won first week, you won second week. How do we call it a wash since we've got new players and then we start fresh?
I agree because my wife had pizza last night. So I think it's just, hey, let's give us a pizza break. Not to mention we got some newbies, right? Some newbies added to the pick'ems.
We do. My
daughter just finished her little reading test and only got 3 out of 20 wrong. Yay, 85%. Yay. I'll take it. Whoop, whoop, Dad wins.
So on our pick'ems, I picked between our two teams. I had to go with Giants because they're in New York, and you had just one too many injuries. And you know what? And the Giants have 0 wins. Week 3. This is what I told you. Remember, I said around week 3, some weird shit happens. weird teams win that shouldn't have won. And then I had to pick my Bengals, not just because I'm biased, but they got a week and a half basically worth of rest.
Okay.
And ability
That's true.
To figure some shit out, maybe work their own kinks out to get at least one win. But yeah, Las Vegas.
If they only win one game this year, is it going to be this week?
Oh, no.
The Bengals?
No. They have a tough schedule, but they'll win. They'll win 3.
Okay.
I know that's so terrible to say as a Bengals fan. All Bengals fans out there, but just, yeah, I'm sorry, but it's not happening. Not with Burrow yet. Not yet. Mm-hmm. He's got to be healthy. Anyways, some hot fucking.
Oh, I thought you were going down the list of all the games.
I am. I'm just kind of browsing through the ones of what stands out. Right. Washington football team and Browns. I don't really expect much out of those. Maybe the Browns pulls it out. Hey, so by the way, so I got a first win on our pick'ems. Picking the Dolphins. Ryan Fitzpatrick has to be my favorite underrated quarterback of all time. He's the one dude that I wish I saw. That were like, I wish. Could you imagine if he had like 2 or 3 rings? What he would be like?
Oh, dude,
he would be like Joe Namath.
Easily.
He would be like rolling in with fur coats and gold chains with this giant beard.
Just a weird he'd be like Hawaiian shirt, just like open, like, hey, look at my chest hair, and with like a headband or something. I don't know.
He was one of my favorite episodes on The League when he's on it, and Ruxin's trying to give him shit. He's like, oh, well, what Ivy League did you go to? He's like naming off state schools, and Fitzpatrick's all Harvard.
Yeah.
It's all intense and purposes.
Go to Phoenix Online University.
Yeah, that's right. Something like that. Anyways, no, Fitzy is like my favorite. I always root for him. He's the dude in my Madden game. I select him and then just increase all his levels, so he's like superstar.
Yeah. Dude, he's crazy. But it seems like every year he has a really hot start.
Yes.
And then like falls off.
Yep.
I don't know what is it with that? And when that happens, is Tua going to get the start, or are they putting him on ice all year?
Yeah, what is it? So is it just stamina? He just can't keep up?
I don't know. Isn't he getting old?
So that was the whole joke, was Minshew. How do you say his fucking last name? Minshew. I was like, Minshew. He was making a joke about respecting his elders and, his much elder. Anyways, and I was glad to see Fitzy get that win just based off of that.
It's like, sorry, to put this in Pokemon terms, it looks like Gardner Minshew like evolves into Ryan Fitzpatrick eventually. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick is the final stage. Like, because Gardner's got the porn star stash, but then you've got big old grizzly beard Ryan Fitzpatrick just throwing haymakers.
Both
I don't know.
Fitzpatrick and Minshew both look like they either belong on the Vikings squad or in like the actual show Vikings.
Yeah.
Anyways, Vikings might pull out a win.
Oh, what?
They might fix their shit.
Are they? You know what? I think they're better than their record is right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But Tannehill's been on fire for Tennessee. On that game, man, that's gonna be tough. I picked Tennessee just because I think they have a stronger defense, and It really is going to be the battle of the defense, though.
Well,
they're both very similar teams, if you think about it. Strong running game.
Yeah. Green Bay's on fire.
Defenses.
No, the Green Bay's on fire.
Fuck.
Green Bay. No, okay, so something tells me, like in my gut, that Rodgers and Green Bay are out to prove something this year. Like they're just ready to plow through teams. I have this weird feeling we're going to see a Green Bay playoff or at least Super Bowl.
They're going to make the playoffs. Not going to win the Super Bowl.
They're on a fucking tear, dude.
Dude, it's nuts to watch them do this well. And it sucks because, like, I watched Aaron Jones put up 48 fucking points on me on fantasy this last week. So that sucked. But, dude, I think Green Bay did exactly what they needed to do. They needed to get Jordan Love and put him under Aaron Rodgers to give him the message, like, you better step up your fucking game. And
whatever they did,
they did it. They lit that fire under him, you know? And
I think we might see a Green Bay Atlanta playoff. At this point,
that might be more of a wild card game.
I don't know. Let's
I still think the Saints take the division for Atlanta. The NFC South.
Look at Atlanta's. What is the rest of their schedule look like? Okay, so Atlanta's going to steamroll Chicago this Sunday
easily.
The next game is going to be Green Bay.
They'll lose.
Maybe. That might be a battle. Mm-hmm. And that's a Monday night game. Ooh. God, there's some good Monday night games. Like they've been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, Minnesota, Detroit, Carolina, Denver, bye, Saints, Vegas, Saints, Chargers, Tampa, KC, Tampa. So the rest of their schedule isn't that tough. With the numbers,
I don't know how strong Tampa really is. Like I still there's still a big question mark in my head. Like
I think they're figuring it out.
Are they good?
I think they're figuring. No, I think they're good. I think they're figuring out how to work together again. And I think they're all figuring out their roles on the fly. And why I say that is Tom knows that the years are ticking. You know, he knows he's got maybe 3 or 4 left. He says he wants to go longer. I doubt it. I mean, chances are he's going to get hurt within the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
and Gronk has been complete. Gronk has been non-existent.
Dude, I think it's just
notice that.
I just think it's off season. I think it's conditioning. That's it. Conditioning and getting used to that humidity down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
he's a Boston boy, born and raised, man. He's not used to it.
No, not that thick air like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he looks tired. He looks unconditioned. But once he gets conditioned, you know, Gronk's just somebody I'm not a big Gronk fan, but he does his job. He's a brick house when he catches the ball, you know?
Some dude that big should not be that athletic.
He's a beast. He's just a big meathead.
Yeah.
But the rest of Atlanta's schedule doesn't look that tough. If, like I said, with the numbers that they put up in the past couple games, the rest of the schedule looks like if they started this out with 2 losses, they are going to be on fire. They should be. Theoretically, they should be on fire and hungry to steamroll the next opponent.
Right. Atlanta's weird, man. They seem to do this thing too because they seem to beat the teams that they're not supposed to beat. I remember last year, Atlanta sucked. last year, and then somehow started stringing together like 4 wins in a row, and one of them was against the Niners on the last play. Atlanta has a weird way of somehow proving that they're not bad. I look at their schedule and I see 9 wins. I think they'll get 9-7. I think they'll get a wild card berth.
We'll see. I don't count them out. I mean, let's see. If they have their way with Chicago Sunday, then they're on the right track.
Right.
Now Chicago's 2-0.
Chicago is, I think, 1-1. Another one this last week. And then, so Bears beat the Lions week 1. So, yeah, they're 2-0. That's really weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The league is starting to even out. It's starting to get to that point where all the quarterbacks are fairly new and still finding their home. We've got on the rise running backs, and oh man,
I think a lot of that
Barkley on your fantasy team.
And you see, when you say that the Giants are going to beat the Niners, I'm like, no, because they lost Barkley. They've lost their number one, and then they've got 3 running backs that barely fucking touch the ball. You got Dion Lewis, who's the number 1.
That are getting a chance to stand out right now.
Goodness sakes, they're getting a chance, but dude, you've got some of them are washed up. Devontae Freeman and Dion Lewis, they're getting old.
Or they're getting a chance to prove that they're not done. They're still worth a price tag.
Right.
Come on,
Dion Lewis. The thing about Dion Lewis, he can catch the ball in the.
Yeah.
And so that I think is key. That's just me.
Yeah. Well, football might be the only thing left for me to watch here pretty soon. That next to baseball.
A's are in the.
We'll find out tonight,
man.
We will find out tonight.
Yeah.
Boston has their possible last game. If they lose tonight, they're out.
Right. How far are they behind?
They're 3-1 in the series, and it's game best of 7. Sorry. And same with the LA. It's looking like it might be the Lakers and the Heat, but definitely Lakers. I wish it was Boston. They got to stay alive tonight. They've got to stay alive tonight.
How many times has this happened in NBA history? That's my question. Is how does a team go from
Not. It's just about this. It's pretty much the same probability in most sports when there's a game 7. If you're down 3-1. The probability of coming back. I mean, look at the Red Sox come back with the bloody sock and remember? They were down and they just, that's got to be one of the best comeback stories of just all time.
They broke the curse, man.
Well, that's what I was asking you about. So I was asking you about ESPN, if you had ESPN or ESPN Plus, because there's this show or like this episodes that you can watch on there called Better Days, and it's BETTOR. And he sits down with these dudes that make these wild ass bets with friends, and one of them was a Bengals fan who decided to pull some sort of tribute to some other Bengals fan years ago that did this, and he said he wouldn't leave the roof of his bar that he owned until they won a game. And it was last season. It was the 2019 when they went 12 or 13 games. And he literally lived on the roof of his bar for 13 weeks.
Oh, God.
He had people like bringing him food. It's funny. He sits down with the dude. It's a funny story. But yeah, I was gonna have you read it or watch it.
I just found out that I like it's with my Disney Plus subscription, right?
Yeah.
The bundled thing. So I'm good. Yeah, I've got it.
Check it out. It's funny. I haven't checked out any of the other ones and I need to, but that's all he does. He sits down with dudes who've made stupid bets and they have like a reenactment and stuff of what they're doing. It's kind of like Drunk History.
That's exactly what I was thinking in my head. I'm like Drunk History, but with sports.
Yeah. Drunk History is amazing. I love
Drunk History.
Oh,
I'm a huge history buff because,
yeah,
man, especially when it comes to American history and American Revolution stuff. That's
well, you
my
can't
jam.
be. You can't be right now. Shh.
I'm sorry. Yes, I don't
That
want to focus
it
on her
offended
racist
me.
past.
Your words
Sorry.
offended me,
Sorry, man.
and I can't stand the fact that my feelings are hurt. So you need to change your ways.
Yeah.
Anyways, P.S. That was all bullshit.
I know.
So how are you doing, man? I saw you posted a little vent video.
Yeah, that was a culmination of something that I'd basically been working on for like a week straight. Like just kind of compiling all my thoughts and putting them down on paper, and then yeah, man, it's just I feel that a lot of people right now are frustrated and agitated and just really feeling the cabin fever really strong. And you know, we're all trying to put on a smile, but dude, it's sometimes that smile is fake. And thing I can't stand is just fake people. And I don't want to be one of them. So, you know, I put this video out there. I'm like basically, you know, this is how I'm feeling. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the same way. And you need to know that you're not alone. And the more that like I posted that video, man, and I get like a ton of responses like, oh my gosh, come with me to this, come with me to that. And I'm like, that wasn't necessarily the point. Like I'd be stoked to go, you know, hunting with you, fishing with you, hang out and watch football with you. But like the purpose of this video is really just to get my thoughts out and my emotions. And yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of going through the ringer. Feels like it's never ending, and you know, you just get to kind of a breaking point some days. Some days are better than others, dude. Like as soon as I posted that video, and the next day I was all smiles, and then the very next day I'm like, okay, today's going to be one of those bad days. And so it did turn out better, but that was after I like had to go through a whole routine of I have to play the drums, I have to listen to some music, I need to kind of just escape the reality for a second, lose myself in some music, do something creative that kind of makes me tick, and go from there. I know that was a really long response to that, but
No, I'm just checking in on you. That's all.
Yeah,
letting you talk.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, sir?
Same. You know, I mean, it's you hit a lot of things on the nose right there with putting on a smile. That's kind of why I chuckled there. It's just that's all I see people do. You know, we talked briefly on the phone. I would have talked to you a little bit more if I had the time, but it's exactly that. You've heard me say it. I'm frustrated because you look at people with masks looking at people without masks, and people without masks looking at other people with masks, and they're both looking at each other like they're doing something so horribly wrong, and you have to choose a side. Mm-hmm. And then you've got people, and you know, I was telling my wife, I've always leaned fairly conservative. You know, we grew up, I was a military family, shooting guns in the backyard all the time, learning safety, just raising wild, you know, livestock, raising 4-H, FFA, all that. Anyways, so, but I always also was born to a mom and dad that were raised in the Bay Area, so they were fairly open-minded too. Like, right. So I grew up open-minded. So I felt like I lean more libertarian, if anything, if you want to label it. And my biggest issue has always been labels, you know, like really giving me that solid label. And I told my wife, I don't think I've ever felt more Republican, conservative, whatever you want to say, than I have in this past 2 years. Just because of the bullshit. just the bullshit. You hear about Trump calling somebody a bad name before you'll ever hear about a soldier that jumped on top of a grenade or an officer that saved a child from a burning car, or, you know what I mean? You'll hear about that front page first. And that is what's important to some people, but we're not getting any real news. And that's it. Anyways, long story short, I felt like I've never leaned more towards the conservative party than now. But then again, look at what we're doing. We're talking about football. And you know how I feel about football. Football was my day to shut it off. Hey, we're going to talk politics. We're not talking that shit here. You know, like we're talking, you can take it outside, but this is our day, you know, to take a break, to just root for something pure. Adam Carolla said that, like, sports are pure. Doesn't matter if your daddy's the owner of the New York Giants or the San Francisco 49ers, you don't get to be quarterback unless you're good, you know. That's what it is. So it's pure. It's a pure competition. And we took something from gladiator days where they would end up dead in the arena to something that's fun, you know, and we can strategize and really get excited and root for. And you and I can sit down and watch the Bengals and Niners and talk a ton of shit, but with smiles on our faces and knowing that we're just having a good time.
Right.
And at the end of the day, whoever wins, that's whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. We're still going to crack a beer and then end up watching our kids go put dirt in their mouths. So, yeah, it's true story, right? So I posted, right, that I was excited for week 1 of football. And I have to get into it. I don't ever get into it really with people on Facebook unless I feel the real need, and when I do, I want to be open-minded. I want to hear your side. I want to see why you think that's right. So a lot of the people that I agree with, you know, or some, started calling me out. You're watching that shit, you know, you're watching that. They stand for Black Lives Matter. You stand for against cops. So now I've got the side that I felt closest to, lumping me into it's an all or nothing thing. And it's like, you two, both sides, you don't see it. You're both saying it's all or nothing, and you're both saying it can't be all or nothing. Wake up. I'm tired. I can't watch football or post or whatever that I'm excited about something without it turning political. I turned on the TV. This is the first time I actually, something kind of bothered me was I was turning on the TV and it was the basketball, it was the Lakers game, and all the shirts say vote, 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 vote. That doesn't bother me that you want people to go vote, but why right now? Well, right now because it's aimed at a certain political party, a specific. That's the whole key there, and that's where. Yeah, I'm just. Look, you can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I just want to turn it off. I want to watch some sports, and I don't want to be ridiculed for watching sports.
I think a lot of us really want aspects of our lives to be compartmentalized, right? Where we want sports to be about sports, we want politics to be about politics, and where we choose to be is what we want to focus on, right? So when I'm watching a football game, I just want to watch the fucking football game. When I want to talk about politics, you know, fine, I'll turn on, you know, the news or whatever, because that's what I expect, right? But now I think everyone is allowing politics or parts of their life to bleed into other parts. I mean, especially with COVID, right? This is where I'm struggling is when I go to work, I expect to work. I don't expect to also on top of that have my daughter's schooling seep into that. I don't want, you know, my, you know, me to also have to be daycare provider for my 4-year-old, right? Like I want these things separated. I want my cubicle back so I can focus on strictly work. And yet now I'm at home and I
your phone's
tell
going
my
off.
daughter that we're right. And so I can't even focus on a project for work that's going to take an hour or 2 hours to do because I'm going to be interrupted by 5 freaking alarms, which, by the way, I need to tell my daughter something. Daughter, Aubrey, can you get on to Amplify Reading app now, please? Yep. Recess is over. Thank you. All right. Now I can come back. But, yeah, man, we are, and sometimes you just have the agitators, right? You've got the people that just want that are so freaking miserable about everything going on, whether it's politics or stuff with their own life, that they're looking to get their frustration out in other ways. I've got those friends too that are like, "Oh, you're still watching football?" Like, fuck yeah, I'm still watching football. I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to give up like something that I really love because all of a sudden a little bit of politics is going to get in. Like, listen, it's an election year. Politics is going to get into frickin' everything. Can we just focus on like the fun stuff?
And then my other point to that whole thing was like, how is that fair for me to boycott sports? Because what I had said to the people, and we settled it civilly, and what I had said was like, none of them are gonna change the way I vote. None of whatever they say is gonna change my vote. I'll answer with my vote. I can turn it off and pay attention to just the sport aspect of it. It has nothing to do with it. This will all die down. If I wanted to listen or agree with their politics, I would start following them on Twitter. Other than that, it doesn't change how I vote.
Well, I think they want it to. They want what's portrayed to affect,
Well, so that's what I was saying. How is it fair? So if I boycott, if I jump in on the whole all or nothing, I have to be, you guys either have to take your BLM t-shirts off or whatever, or I'm not watching your sport, not getting my ratings so that you guys tank and you guys fail and you hear, that's the whole mentality behind it. Boycott them before, until, how is that fair to the individuals that are playing sports right now who have gone through COVID or are hurting for a paycheck or whatever, fighting for a spot, who have their own political views and can't speak up or just keeping quiet and going to vote, and they oppose certain views, like they have their own. And so how is it fair to them? Because there are athletes out there that are standing up. There's the one, what's his name? In Pittsburgh, he just wore the name of the officer on the back of his helmet.
Right.
So how is it fair to that dude if I just go, no? But that's my whole point, is you can't do that.
Yeah. And it sucks because it is that all or nothing thing, right? So I think we all want to show that, like, sense of unity. And even in these moments where we're supposed to be having moments of unity, we're still having things not at the same level. Like, you've got entire teams that'll, take a knee for the national anthem, and then, stand up for the quote unquote, African American national anthem. I think that's what they're calling it. Like, they stood up for both songs, or they kneeled for both songs. And it's like, I thought we were all one nation with one set of like, why are we introducing a new national anthem? I thought we were all supposed to be united under one national anthem. And even when we have the one national anthem, you've got some that are standing, some that are kneeling, but we're all trying to observe this one moment of quote unquote unity, and we're not unified at all.
This creating division, and you know what? To me, whatever. Let them play it.
It's an election year. What's going to happen next year? Probably nothing, because
that's the other thing is like
not the problems are all going to be solved, but at least I
keep hearing that this is all going to go away after the election, right? That's what we keep hearing. We keep hearing, after the election. You want to know what though? That shit's not going to be until February. That's not going to be until like January or February. With all there's going to be a fuss about all the mail-in ballots. We got to count them. They're still coming in. They're not all in. There's going to be like this whole delay.
Right.
Watch.
And constitutionally, they're supposed to have, the inauguration in January, right? Or, swearing in if there's a new president.
Realistically, probably December. They'll probably announce in December.
Well, and how eager are they going to be to count all these ballots? No, you're going to have people dragging their feet. Oops, we found a batch of ballots here that still need to be processed. Oh, look here. Here's another one. And then this whole voting by mail thing is, listen, I'm not against it, but I know that there's vulnerability for fraud. There was just an entire batch of ballots overseas from from armed service members, and they were all for Trump, and they just so happened to find them. I can't stand it. Again, it can't be a one way or the other way. It's got, we got to have options. Some people want to mail it in. Some people like the physical aspect of going down to the polling station, filling it out themselves, knowing for a fact that their vote was counted. I do find it troubling that you've got some leaders saying submit your ballots now, and it's 4 days before the first presidential debate that's set up. What does that tell you? Someone's insecure about their candidate not looking good on national TV.
Well, that's the whole thing that they keep saying is when Biden screws up like he did with the whole 200, or what was the statement he just made, that if there was a different president that all the people would have been alive that died from COVID.
It's dumb as shit. Sorry.
If he's on stage with Trump, what does Trump do?
Trump's going to defend himself. He's going to say, well, look at me, dude. I tried to institute a travel ban, but you guys called it racist. And then, what do you know? You've got someone coming over here overseas with the virus that I tried to stop. But no, you guys were too busy trying to impeach me in January.
Does he make fun of Biden?
He calls him Sleepy Joe.
No, but does he make fun of Biden to Biden's face? What does he do there?
Oh, dude, I know for a fact he's going to be clowning him the whole freaking time.
Do you think so?
Because I think Trump voters are just going to eat that shit up. And because why? Because we against him? Be conventional. Is it going to work against him? Dude, has it worked against him ever for him just cracking a joke?
But has he ever had somebody this dense of an opponent?
Dude, if Biden can't read, I'm
not disagreeing with you. I'm saying,
Biden
how's it going to look like
anything off of the teleprompter?
How is it not going to look like a bully beating up a defenseless kid? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
how do you make it not look like that? That's what I mean by
keep it as dignified as possible until something happens. I mean, Trump's done it before. Trump's been able to.
I agree with Kamala. If he goes after, if him and Kamala go head to head, absolutely. If he goes for the throat, yeah, that'll work because she's as vicious. But when you go up against somebody who's just so dense, they can't even like speak right, let alone defend themselves, it almost comes off like you're beating up a defenseless kid.
Well, there's a clip of Joe Biden during the presidential primary debates telling Kamala Harris, "Hey, go easy on me, kid." Like, do you think the Republicans are going to go easy on you? Hell no. You're going on a debate stage not for the voters to pat you on the back. No, you're going into into war basically to fight your ideas against the other person. And if yours suck, I'm sorry.
Well, some say she slipped up.
What'd she slip up on?
When she had said something about a Harris Biden administration.
She said the Harris administration. That's right. And that is like, who's really calling the shots? And I said this before, like, he's going to be a sit and sign president. And that's just me being real.
That's kind of why I was wondering, like, was that real? Was that, like, did she really mean Harris administration, or was she just, was that a mistake? Was that like an oops? I misspoke.
I don't think Biden's got the mental fortitude to pick people himself.
I don't think he has the stamina for the job.
Yeah.
For 4 years?
What about 8? He'd be literally what? He's 77 now.
He doesn't make
81.
it 2.
He'd have to be 85. Could he last until 85 statistically? No.
He doesn't last 2. I say he doesn't last 2 years. I would be stunned if he lasts more than 2. Stunned.
Yeah. Age does matter here.
Wow.
Well, not yeah, age matters. Age does matter. But apparently not in California.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I don't
Age is just a number. No, it's that's what pedophiles tell each other to make themselves feel better. Sorry.
No, it's cool. I already canceled my Netflix.
See, I want to. I really do. And I feel like a hypocrite keeping it, but totally like, no, Cuties is terrible. And the whole freaking Hollywood in general is just a cesspool. That's my personal
I've had Netflix for over a decade.
You've had it. Did you used to get the DVDs delivered to you? Yep. Yeah, man.
It's the first time I ever canceled it, and they put in the other. I said, parental controls are not enough to keep my kids from seeing Cuties.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that film doesn't belong there. I get what their message was, but again, I don't need it. And it's, if they want to release it as an independent film somewhere, like, that's cool, but it doesn't belong streaming in every one of my tablets, phones, computers, and televisions.
It doesn't matter if you set up a separate kids account, right? They can still, just press back and then access mom and dad's file and check it out.
This isn't like when I was a kid where like dad had the Hustler magazine stuffed away in his closet somewhere, or you had to like go find the DVD porno and then like, that was hidden somewhere. No, this is literally like, this is streamed whenever, wherever. I mean, I would be very interested to see
Which user accounts have streamed that movie the most? Repeatedly.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even. Yeah. I feel sticky just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel gross, man. And you know what? And again, I see what you're saying. They go, oh, like maybe it's like an artistic film, or to each his own. But then somebody posted little GIF videos from the movie, and I was just like, fuck! Like just the fact that they had these little girls do this.
Yeah.
And they did it over and over and over and over again to film it. There's one where the girl's just smacking the other 11-year-old's butt, and they're laughing, and she's like trying to shake it like she's twerking, and she's just smacking it repeatedly. And then the other girl's literally humping the ground, trying to show her how to thrust her hips into the floor correctly. Like, it just absolutely astonishing shit. That
didn't Netflix like say like, oh, this was a girl finding out about her femininity?
Yeah, it was
like, and I'm like,
against her conservative family's views.
It's like that if that's what feminism is, if that's what the opposite of conservative is, then I wouldn't want any part of it. My daughter stole my Charmander. I'm not happy about it right now. Gosh.
Other than that, man, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's just man, after putting that video out, I feel so much better. Like, I was like 6 months of just thoughts and feelings like all out, and it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I know I'll probably experience a funk again, but I don't know. It just felt good to get some stuff out, and yeah.
My biggest question is, when do we go back to normal?
We don't.
Don't say
we don't.
that.
I'm sorry to say, but normal is gone. There are going to be so many new protocols and new things to better protect us, and we just got to get. And it sucks because the next 5-10 years, it's going to be an adapting process. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm stoked that if I can, work two days a week at home, as long as my kids are, back to school. But I don't think we quite understand just yet how big of a change this is going to be, because I was literally just on a Zoom call with California Department of Technology, and they're all talking about, hey, we've got 50% of our workforce that's now 100% working from home, and we're creating teams. And they mention like, oh, it is kind of hard building collaboration and building teams when people are remotely, and we do miss the impromptu conversations with each other, just shooting the shit in the break room. But when do we return back to normal? Again, I don't think we do. I think we really some of these things, like as I said in my video, some of these things are going to be permanent, dude. We're going to have to just adapt to it, and that sucks to say.
What things?
The schools, they're going to have to. I think this is going to be a part of their plan. This is going to be a part of public education moving forward. Is, hey, there's a really bad flu season. Let's dude, go. You gotta go. Sorry. That's the thing, man. My daughter hates to try and focus when it's.
I keep saying this through this whole thing. I keep saying teachers are the most. I will say it coming out of COVID. Teachers need to get paid more.
It's not. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah.
They need like a brain surgeon salary.
Yeah, they should. Should they be paid more than doctors?
Yes.
Do
Yes.
they teach the doctors?
No, you see, doctors will bring you back to life and keep you from death. Teachers keep us from killing our children.
Yeah. Man, they provide. Yeah. Well, I think it's just a system, right? We've got this public education system that's relying on our tax dollars. I don't think we can pay them like royalty, but because that would require us to pay up more in taxes.
Worth it.
What? Yeah. Oh shit! Right. Yeah. Do you want to spend $400 more in property taxes a year, or would you like to be spending $1,600 on mental health services?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. When are your kids going back? Did they give you a date yet?
No, they literally told us until further notice we're doing distance learning. Until further notice.
I think my son.
The whole first and second quarters are gone.
I think my son just got notice that they're going back October 19th.
Yeah, you guys are right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you guys have got good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have high numbers.
You don't. Lodi's numbers as of freaking yesterday. We've got 6 COVID-19 patients in the hospital, only 2 in the ICU. And yet the hospital has an entire floor dedicated to COVID patients, which just blows my freaking mind.
So my stepfather is in San Francisco right now. He just got out of heart surgery yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They actually took him to the ER. I just did an episode with him, and he's had a quintuple bypass, and I don't know how they do this, but it's a 5-way bypass. I know your heart only has 4 valves, but anyways, luckily he came out of surgery okay, because they were worried that they weren't going to be able to fix whatever was in there, and just because of his age. So they were able to go in there and fix it. And he's sitting in the hospital right now, but my mom has not been able to go inside whatsoever. She's not been able to, she's sits in the parking lot and gets updates from her phone, or she's at a friend's house, or anyways.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I was thinking, your husband's about to go into for heart surgery. Sign a waiver, wear 5 masks, do whatever, but tell him that you're going to see your husband.
That's the thing. That's the big holdup for our schools right now is no one wants to. It's a really easy fix, actually. If you want your kid to come to school, have the parent sign a waiver saying you will not sue the school district or the school or anyone, and just in the case that your kid gets COVID or someone in your family dies from it, right? So, and it's a totally irrational thought to think that, if we open the schools, all these kids are going to be getting, COVID-19. No, they've been exposed to their parents who have been out and about at all these all these stores that have been basically doing life just wearing a mask, right? And so, and as soon as you get home, they take the mask off and are exposed to their kids, preparing their meals and shit. There have been 0, and I'm not even joking, 0 deaths among 0 to 17-year-olds in our entire county. Only 9% of total COVID cases come from that age group, 0 to 17. That would be, going to school, going to daycare or whatever. All that's being held up right now is the fact that you've got these school districts that are super afraid of being sued. Even fear of lawsuit. And this is the same for local government in general. everyone's afraid of getting sued up the ass and having to come out of pocket to pay for the lawsuits. And it's forced. That's why the homelessness problem is huge, because you got the homeless advocates that are willing to sue. It's why schools aren't open. It's government officials do not act. They are paralyzed because they are fearful of lawsuits.
Well, I think that's kind of what you're saying with the schools too, is what they're dealing with is it's not so much like kids or parents signing waivers as much as it is what happens when a teacher is so fearful of COVID that they throw a fit, or enough of them throw a fit, because they're being forced to go back to work with a ton of different little carriers, and then they sue because they're being forced to go back to work. Or the school goes, okay, that's fine, you don't have to work, we'll find somebody else to do your job, and then they sue because they were replaced. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's afraid of being sued. We're so sue happy here in California. I don't know how it is for the rest of the country. I know that there are other states that are doing absolutely fine, opening back up, having school. But again, we don't hear about that shit.
Yeah. Well, California is considered the judicial hellhole of the nation. There's literally like a website dedicated to it. And you got to think it's because our legislators love to, look like politicians, and hey, they grade themselves upon how many bills they can pass in a year. They don't care about the substance. They care about how many bills pass. And every single time a bill passes, that's a new law that's put in place that someone has to comply to, that someone has to make the changes within their business model, or they got to become even more ADA compliant or something along those lines. And because of all these compliance issues, that you open yourself up to a lawsuit. We've got over 1,000 bills that pass every single year in the state, and are signed into law by our governor, and that is a huge problem. You look at other states where they have part-time legislatures, they only meet like once for 3 months, and then great, everyone's back out doing their own thing. Part-time legislatures, they don't have the same problems that California has, because we tinker too much. We find a problem and we are so reactionary, right? I can't count how many freaking bills have resulted from, some Facebook video or some little 9-year-old science project that got, publicity. And all of a sudden the legislator has got something they want to champion. And what's up, Jingles? Yeah, that happens.
We're also reliant on politicians getting their jobs done, especially like right now. And nobody's getting... It's just so slow moving.
Well, when the legislature isn't in session, that leaves our governor up to be the one to make the decisions, right? And so what the legislature did back in March, when all of this really started, was give the governor all these emergency powers. And that has really bad consequences, because now the legislature is not legislating. They aren't able to approve by their own means, emergency funding. And so the governor then has this pocket of money that he's like, okay, where I now have the ability to send it where I want it. And for a lot of legislators, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, that's a huge,
Well, and then you've got people peeking in your doorway going, hey, I heard you got all this money and we've got this project going on, and how about you fund us a little bit of that? It's just, it's a downward spiral. But look
at how many millions of dollars were spent on Arco Arena to become a skilled nursing facility, like an emergency shelter for people in case COVID got really, really bad. I think they only had like 7 patients that they treated, and spent millions of dollars to convert Arco Arena into that skilled nursing facility. It's just...
I'm over it, man. I know that you and I differ in the way where, like, I watched your video, and you talk like you miss a lot of social interaction, and I miss social interaction, but for the most part, I miss people not judging one another. That's the intensity when I was saying it. It's like it's an emotional drain when you go out because you do have to pick mask on or mask off. Now they passed that law or told everybody that you can't argue with customers and tell them that they have to wear a mask. So now everybody's out in stores and half the stores without masks, half the stores with masks, because everybody's trying to pick a political side or what they believe. And some of the people that are wearing masks are just doing it out of courtesy and because they were asked to, and it's other people. And the disease is real and it really affects unhealthy people and the elderly. And, so you just do it out of courtesy. And then the other people are just like, no, this is fuck this. This is all political. This is all bullshit.
Yeah.
You can't even go to the store and pick up some groceries without ripping that mask off as soon as you get home and almost taking a sigh of relief, not because you can breathe because of the mask, but because you can breathe because you're not around people anymore. And that's so sad. Our society in itself is just getting to this point where we all hate each other, or we all have to push our agendas on one another. And you watch football, oh, you must be against cops. No, I'm very for cops. I'm very much for cops. Go fuck yourself with that one. Because, and that's not personal. That's whoever's going to tell me I'm all for something on one or the other just because,
people are so agitated and have so much pent up emotion that they're looking for something to blame it on. That I'm so mad. I'm going to blame it on, I'm going to blame it on racism. I'm so mad. I'm going to blame it on, the Republicans or the liberals or
you have the far right. That. You have the far right people, the Bible thumpers, thinking that the whole West Coast is burning because of the pedophilia thing. They think that God is punishing the West Coast.
Yeah. That's just terrible forest management. Just being real. We used to have a lot more, wild animals running around and grazing, and now we just don't.
Well, then you have the left saying climate change. It's screaming climate change. And nobody's saying climate change isn't real. That's the thing, is you can't deny that climate change.
Climate's always changing.
Yeah, climate change is real. Is it the cause of the forest fires? No. Want to know why? Why does it stop at the Canadian border then?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it stop right at the fucking border?
Why isn't Mexico dealing with fires the same way?
Well, I guess they wouldn't have the same
they're even drier than we are. Well, I get that, yeah.
But
it's just,
and yeah, you've got everybody lumping everybody with it all. So what my wife and I started doing was we're like trying to find ways to just turn it off. So we're like, oh, you know what we'll do? Let's watch old SNL, like the old, like when Adam Sandler was on SNL, when John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd was on SNL, and Chevy Chase,
Steve Martin.
Yeah. So what we did the other night, and I kid you not, check it out for yourself. I went back to SNL, and I found it on Hulu, and I was like, oh, cool. And there was like a big gap between season 30 and season like 4 and 5 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started like 5 or whatever. It's the Burt Reynolds episode. And Burt Reynolds is on there. And in the very first 5 minutes, I kid you not, there's an introductory part where Burt Reynolds is getting hair and makeup done, and this black dude that comes in, he comes in, and the joke is that Burt Reynolds has done so many great movies that everybody loves, but they just keep skipping over him for the Academy Awards. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "You're kind of like the Hollywood," And I was like,
And like they said it, they flat out said it, and we were like
hard R,
hard R.
Oh,
and we were watching with subtitles. It was subtitled, so like, and I went, oh, and then he leaves, and Burt Reynolds starts laughing about it with the hair and makeup guy, and then Burt Reynolds repeats him and says he's like Hollywood. He starts laughing. He's like, haha, So then they go into the first skit. The first skit, here's the comedic bit. Burt Reynolds plays himself, who decides to show up because he's in town and he gets letters from his fangirls, and he shows up to this one family's town or this family's house, who's Bill Murray's house, and Bill Murray plays the dad. I forgot what the lady was that plays the mom, and then they have 2 daughters that are 15 and 16. The bit is that Burt Reynolds is there because, well, sometimes he gets bored and horny. Those are his exact words. Those are his, bored and horny, and that he likes to just come up and pick up some of his fangirls. And so the comedic part of it was that he's such a big movie star that families and people will just do whatever and give them whatever. And Bill Murray was just so ecstatic that Burt Reynolds was in his house and Burt Reynolds literally told the father that he's going to just go ahead and take his 2 daughters, 15-year-old and 16-year-old, back to his hotel room and just drill their brains out. And when he's done with them, he can just come pick them up about 2:00 in the morning. He'll leave them on the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
That's the comedic bit. And they were
that's not acceptable these days.
My wife and I were sitting there like this. We're just watching, going, what's funny about this?
And those are considered like the glory days, right, of SNL. That's what everyone refers to as, that's when it was good, or that's when it was funny.
We had to go back.
Yet,
we had to go back and go,
what?
He said 15 and 16, right? But if they're making fun of it, like, that must have happened so often, or something like that age group, that they're making fun of it.
Right.
But the fact that happened in the first 5 to 7 minutes, we were just so taken aback. And then your mind is instantly catapulted into the depths of what's going on today and present day and current shit, and what people are saying about Hollywood and what's been going on with Hollywood and the Jeffrey Epstein shit. So my point in this whole thing is, you can't get away from it. We don't seem to be able to get away from it. We just yesterday, my wife and I finally got a babysitter, and we were able to go out for a hike. And we hiked way back into nothing on this river. And we sat on the river and just enjoyed it. And that's what I meant. You and I are different, right? Especially right now. You miss that social aspect. Right now, there's nothing better to me than just sitting there amongst nature and sitting with my feet in the water and going, I don't hear my phone. I don't hear Facebook arguments. I don't see people in masks.
Yeah. I think a lot of my anxiety is, maybe I thought I was such an extrovert, right? You hear a lot about me in that video talking about I just want some me time. And, maybe I wasn't the extrovert that I think I am. Maybe I am an introvert, and I just can't function with two kids, invading my space, and I'm the dad, but I'm also the employee, and I try my best to keep those 2 aspects of my life separate, because I don't want one to affect the other. I don't want my kids barging in and affecting my work, and I don't want my work coming in and affecting my life with and love with my kids, and so, dude, yeah, I miss the social aspects. I think I just miss most of it, the control over my own life and what I can and cannot do. And I don't like someone telling me, no, you got to work from home. Well, what if I wanted to fucking come into the office? No, sorry, you can't.
You're too much of a risk.
I'm like, God damn, dude. And
you're healthy.
Yeah. What do you mean I have to work at home with my kids? Well, it's because you have no other choice. Well, I really wish I had a choice. And it all comes down to the decisions of the higher ups that are, again, paralyzed by fear of lawsuits and fear of it's just the unknown, you know. I had someone comment the other day like, oh, there's just so much we don't know about the virus that it's too risky to open up right now. And I'm just like,
that's what I mean. There's going to be
I'm just
somebody
like,
too afraid.
To blame it on we don't know is, in my opinion, a cop out. It's everyone's copping out. No one wants to have the balls or the courage to really tackle the issue.
Yeah, I see that. Well, I know that you had plenty of people offer you, you know, places to go, and I know that you might not be looking for that, but if you ever want to just grab your kids, strap some boots on them, and take them up hiking where they're on the river, and just kind of let them fucking swim around and play or splash and take a break from shit, let me know.
Yeah, man.
Or even if you just want to drop your kids off at your dad's house up this way and go out by yourself, you know.
Hell yeah.
Let me know, because it's nice to it sounds weird. You always hear people say it. Yeah, go for a hike. Go for, you know, just do it. But once you actually do it, you kind of hike back there and just sit there for a second. You understand.
Yeah. And maybe I'm just so like freaking, you know, plugged in and like so I don't know, like
you gotta unplug, buddy.
I do have to unplug, and that's I think the fear or the just not, I don't know. I think I just gotta relax and unplug and really take people up on their offers, because it's without it, it's just
bring some swimming trunks before it gets too cold, because that's that spot where my kids were jumping into the off the cliffs into the water.
Dude, it's gonna be 100 degrees on Monday.
You gotta try it. It's get away, do something where it exerts you like that.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, we'll bring a couple beers and
sounds fun. Immediately sounds fun.
Yeah, let me know when you want to.
All right, dude.
All right, man. Well,
for sure.
Good luck for the rest of the week. Football. That's all I've got to look forward to. I'm serious. Like, football's it. I was excited yesterday that there was a football game. I was like,
I know. I woke up. I'm like, wait, is there a game tonight? Yeah. It's the shittiest teams ever, but I'll still watch it.
It was a good game. And Thursday night, man. Thursday night's starting to become a nice little night. Dude, I'm telling you, Super Bowl, I want to see Super Bowl made into a holiday, a national holiday before I die.
All right.
Who do you know that doesn't have plans Super Bowl Sunday? And it doesn't revolve around watching the game somewhere with somebody.
No, everyone's got a plan for Super Bowl Sunday. It's just a question of, do you want to enjoy the festivities or do you want to be completely separate from it? Like,
Right.
I know people that like,
everybody's together.
Everyone's doing barbecues. Everyone's doing, you know what? I'm going to go freaking, you know, that's our trip to Disneyland is Super Bowl. And it's super like dead because of it.
I'm not looking forward to Halloween.
I'm gonna, you know what?
I've got to.
I don't know if this is like encouraged or like bad, but I'm gonna be outside with a slingshot on my balcony, just like, here you go. I'm gonna feel really bad for the kids that get the hard Jolly Ranchers.
That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work.
It is. I'm gonna make it work. Dude, someone had a contraption that they literally like. They put on like a zip line, almost like a retractable zip line.
Mm-hmm.
They put Bud Lights for the parents, and then candy down below for the kids. And as people are walking up, they like send the zip line and then reel it back with like a fishing pole. After the parents get their Bud Light, it's pretty good.
I don't know. I'm not looking forward. I think there's gonna be a lot of people mad. I hope that they just don't answer the door, you know? I hope they're not like standing out there like just pissed off.
I think it's really a time for people to step up. Like, yeah, it's been shitty for parents and adults and really shitty for kids that can't go to school. Can we give them like something? Can we give our kids something forward, like to look forward to? So many birthdays that have been, hey, we can't do a real party for you.
Well, if COVID hasn't gotten real for our kids yet, if there's no Halloween, it's going to get real quick.
Well, someone's going to be pissed off. Someone's going to be like, oh, you watch, the politicians are going to be blaming Halloween for, recent spike in cases because you fucks couldn't stay indoors. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, this is Halloween. 90% of us are wearing masks already. So.
True. This is true.
Yeehaw.
Anyways. All right, bud.
All right, man. You have a great weekend, and
you too.
Good luck to your Bengals.
Celtics. My Celtics need it. My Bengals aren't gonna do shit this year.
Yeah, your Celtics need it more.
My Celtics are 3 games away from being in the finals. Oh, that's just God. I don't know. We'll see.
Good luck.
All right, bud.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Follow us, like, and subscribe. And until next time, cheers, everyone. And stay sane out there.
You start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. You can't feel the neck.
You got knocked up